So I wanted to do a longer version of how I'd make these field note sketches and kind of go through the whole book at the end, but also just kind of talk about what I'm thinking about as I'm drawing. Right now I'm just trying to find a page that doesn't have any drawing on it, that doesn't have too much coming from the other side. The paper isn't very thick, so this page looks like a good one. The pen I'm using is I think that it was supposed to be used as a watercolor pen. I don't remember where I got it, but I filled it up with India ink, and I'm just using it as kind of a homemade Bimoji pen. I really like the Bimoji Japanese style that is already preloaded with ink, because it comes out really smooth and it allows me to improvise and not think too hard about whether that ink's going to be there. I can just keep drawing and not even worry about the material. I kind of like on this page how there's some residue from the previous page showing through. And I like drawing faces because I like people and they seem to come alive in my mind, and I'm kind of imagining these faces and people that I work with. Sometimes subconsciously faces come through that I've seen during the week. That's one of my favorite things, is when I recognize some person that I meet or have met and their face comes through in a drawing, or some aspect of their face comes through. I don't know that I see any faces on this one, but yeah, and this is a project that I've done with students over the years also, where I'm drawing faces with them and trying to get them to draw the eyes in the middle of the head and kind of just get the proportions generally in the ballpark of faces. Sometimes I draw the eyes really far apart on purpose. I like to put eyelashes in as a funny little illustrative touch. The style of the way I draw the mouth is just some things. These are things that you learn over the years in order to have almost like a formula, so you don't have to think about every little aspect, and the beard and things like that, and the neck. And you repeat these patterns over and over in order to kind of not have to think too hard about what you're doing. And then I believe that it becomes kind of a natural process. Some of my faces I don't like, but usually I'm pretty like tolerant of what happens. I like doing little patterns in the background. Kind of reminds me of some of the impressionists would have like some sort of crazy background. Van Gogh's paintings often had a really interesting background. And so these field notebooks, it doesn't have to be field notes, but I like doing this little book that I can carry around and try it out, test out different things. This gray marker that I'm using is just like the lightest color gray. It's called C4. It's an alcohol-based marker, and I'm just using it to like add a little bit of depth, because there's something when it's just black and it's just black and white. I like that look too, but I do like having like just a little bit of depth. Now I'm gonna take off the tape. I often tape with masking tape just to hold down the edges of the paper on something like this. It'll move around, and just in order for probably mostly for the video aspect of it. Otherwise I would be kind of moving it around with my hand. So now I'm just going to go through and kind of look at what I've gotten done so far in this book. That's where I get coffee. These are a couple of my students' drawings. I like how that one turned out with the yellow and the pink. It's like a little landscape drawing. It actually goes the other way. I really like this face. I don't know why. It just feels natural. Another student drawing. This one was nice. Just kind of spacey. Beard guy. Student drawing. I really like this one. I can't tell you why. I think it's the hair, obviously. This one I enjoyed too. The necklace. This was just trying to throw a sticker in there, do something different. This guy makes me think of Mad Men. Little skeleton guy, hoodie with the hair. I'm not sure what this is, but I like the pattern. Hat. That was a photocopy of a drawing. I just decided to glue in there and color over 2 student drawings. Guy with a bird. Yeah, that's just kind of the process, and this little book that I'm making, and thinking about doing a kit. I'm not quite at the point where I want to release whatever that is, but having fun with it. So that's kind of the longer form of what I do.